Hello, everybody. I wanted to briefly introduce myself. My name is Tom Lyons. I'm the instructor for this course for NT501, and I'm excited to have you guys in the class this semester. I wanted to put a face with a name. Obviously, you'll be seeing a lot of Dr. Long, who was the author of our textbook, and he's done our videos, but I'm going to be the one kind of behind the scenes. So I wanted to briefly introduce myself. I'm going to just talk about a little bit about the format of the course. For myself, I am the Greek teaching fellow at Asbury Theological Seminary. I don't have my PhD yet, but I'm well on my way. At this point, the only thing I have left to do is write my dissertation. I'm studying under Craig Keener, and I'm planning on writing on the baptism of the Holy Spirit in Luke Acts. So exciting. But the reality is that 8 years ago, I was in your shoes. I started, or actually 9 years ago at this point. I started my MDiv at Asbury in 2008. I had been out of school for 4 years. My undergraduate was actually in mathematical science, so it wasn't anything related to Bible. And I jumped from my undergraduate into full-time ministry, served for 4 years, and just recognized that I hadn't stewarded my intellect well. And so I ended up going back to school in 2008 with very little kind of Bible background. I had a little bit of exposure to Greek in my undergrad because I was interested in it, but I ended up dropping the class. The reality is that I never did well with any of my language classes up until that point. And so I knew my calling was to teach. And I knew that Greek was going to be an essential part of that. And so what I ended up doing was I put Greek right at the front. So first semester, one of the first courses one of the first 3 courses I took at the seminary was indeed Greek. And honestly, I was afraid. Most classes had come naturally to me, and I had naturally done well in most of my education up until that point, except for languages. I took Spanish in middle school, and it just didn't come naturally. It was actually the first class that I had ever failed. And so when I had another chance to do languages, moving on to college, rather than do more Spanish, I thought, well, maybe Spanish is the problem. Let me try a different language. So I tried French, and I did a little bit better, but largely I still really struggled. And so, jumping forward, so when I ended up at seminary and I knew I had to take Greek, and if I was going to teach, from a calling standpoint, Greek had to be in my tool set, I was petrified. So I figured I'd tackle it head on, and if I failed, I would know early so that I could begin to formulate my plan B. But what I instead learned in those first few months of my degree was that language acquisition is only about 10% natural aptitude. The other 90% really is just raw work. So I developed good rhythms of study, and they were essential to my success. The reality is that if I could get through language, I'm sure that most of you can do it as well. We've structured this course to be able to be achieved and for you to be successful. And so I hope that you feel that as you kind of look through our syllabus. I'm not going to go over our syllabus. I trust that you all can do that on your own. But I am going to have us take a look at it, because I want us to look at kind of the rhythm of the class so that you all can kind of know what to expect. And so I'm going to pull this up. And so if you scroll down through the syllabus, one of the things that you're going to see is you're going to see a week schedule. And the rhythms of the course are fairly straightforward. Every Tuesday, we will have a new unit quiz. This new unit quiz will be basically the content of what your exercise A in each new chapter is. It'll be something along those lines. These quizzes are open book, so please use all of your resources as you prepare for them. And we will even let you retake your quizzes once and then average your 2 grades. So there's really not a reason to not do well on these quizzes, especially if you've read through the material, you watched the video, and you're utilizing your resources when you take these new chapter quizzes. Again, these are going to be due every Tuesday night by 11:59. Now the reality is that all of these assignments are going to be due by the end of the day, but I've opened all of them up to you already, so you can study at your own pace. So if you know there's going to be a conflict, in your schedule in the coming weeks or months, what you can do is you can begin to study for these things and to actually take these quizzes ahead of time, so that you don't run into issues. Now, if you do have issues and from a deadline standpoint or whatnot and do need an extension, you can reach out to me and we can see, we can maybe offer you some additional time to work on those assignments. So anyways, so every Tuesday, you're gonna have a new chapter quiz that is due. On Fridays, you'll have a vocab quiz that's due. These vocab quizzes are closed book. They are not available. You're not allowed to use your notes for them. And they're going to be generally like multiple choice or drop down menu for the vocab words. My suggestion is to use either note cards or Quizlet. I'm going to put a link to a Quizlet that a prior student has made of all of our vocab for 501 and even 502. And including some questions to help drill doing digital flashcards for the midterm, so and the final. So or you can write out the flashcards. Every chapter will have vocab associated with it. Most chapters, this vocab will be the first section in each new chapter of long text. In this chapter number 2, it's actually the last section, but we'll get to that. Every Saturday, we will have a homework check. What you'll need to do is, in your exercise book, you will need to fill out the exercises. I've included an assignment sheet for you all, and if you look in the digital classroom, I have an assignment that will actually have all the assignments listed out by due date. And let me switch over to that for us real quick, just so that you can see what exactly I'm talking about. So this is the document right here. And in this document, what I've included is all of our due dates in a checklist format. And so what you're able to do is, as you move through the semester, you can just move down and make sure by those dates you've completed these assignments. And so it'll open with like watching the video and doing the new chapter quiz, and the vocab quiz is going to be on Friday nights. Due on Friday nights. The homework is going to be due on Saturday nights, and the end unit quiz for each week is going to be due on Sunday nights. The homework, I've included what the assignments are, and please do the assignments that I've included in this assignment checklist sheet rather than in the syllabus. I've actually shortened some of your assignments. There are a lot of work. And so I want to be attentive to your time, and you're welcome to do what is in the syllabus, but that is a little bit more work than what I'm requiring of you. And so this assignment checklist is the most up to date. And if you'll see, like this week, these dates are a little bit adjusted. So you're watching your chapter 2 stuff and doing the new chapter quiz for chapter 2 is instead of being due on Tuesday of this week, which would be last night, it is due on Thursday of this week. The vocab will be, it's a very short vocab quiz, and if you can sound out and do the syllables, you'll be able to do the vocab quiz. That vocab quiz is due on Friday night. And then the homework for this week is Saturday, and the new end unit is on Sunday. And then likewise in future weeks, you can see it'll be on Tuesday night for these 2 things, and then Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. A couple other dates that I want to highlight in our assignment sheet is that we have the week 8 is the fall week of an fall intensive week. We do not have any assignments due that week. But what I've done is, for those that are not taking classes during this fall intensive week, I've actually pushed your midterm until the day after that intensive week. So if you are open that week, you can actually use that week to study. If you're not, you can roll that back and make sure to just complete it by the end of week 8, so that it doesn't overlap with your other classes. We will have 2 pronunciation quizzes. One will be due with the midterm, and the other will be due with the final. And when you get to week 8, the link for that and then instructions for what the pronunciation quiz will be there. And then finally, for the 2 other things of note, if you jump up here into week 12, traditionally Asbury has had a reading week. That is not the case this year. We do not have a reading week. And instead, classes on campus will meet during that week, and that means that assignments will be due as normal that week as well. So if you have big travel plans around the holiday, I would make sure that you are working on some of that material beforehand. And then finally, for the last week of the semester, technically the semester ends on the 15th. I mean, you're welcome to turn everything in by the 15th, but I'm actually going to give you 2 additional days and give you the opportunity to turn your final exam in the 17th, if you would like. If you need to get it done ahead of time, I fully understand. But I figure because so much of our schedule has been on a Monday through Sunday rhythm, that you will have the option of turning those that final in on that Sunday. The other high point that I just wanted to note is that you can look in the forum. I'll have an announcement tomorrow, just kind of a reminder of assignments. But what I wanted to do was actually, I utilize Google Hangouts quite a bit. For those of you that are interested in meeting and having some face-to-face time and working through exercises or answering questions. And so I'll be hosting a Google Hangout like this at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. I have a teaching intern that's going to be working with me, and so he may be either shadowing me in those environments, or he may be conducting one himself. And so his name is Ben Snyder. Ben is a wonderful scholar, and he should be very helpful. So this was just a brief introduction for you all. If you have any questions, please drop by the forum and ask me, or send me an email, and I will make sure at the beginning of each week to kind of post an announcement as well. I look forward to having you all in class, and I hope that you are beginning your studies. Blessings.